Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable, everybody. We're back, and it's so great to be back. I'm Tristan Harlan here with, you already know who this man is. It's the legend, the man himself, the GOAT, Juice Box Melda. Cooper, how you doing, my friend?
I'm feeling good today. Thankful for every day here on this earth, here at Arkansas State. So, great episode. We're back. And we're styling and profiling like always.
Yeah, Cooper, you had a little bit of scare over the weekend. You and your girlfriend Savannah got into an accident. I'm glad you're still here.
Stupid deer.
Yeah, that deer didn't take you nowhere but here.
Yes, sir.
Before we get too carried away, you already know what time it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's send it to our news desk correspondent, Ella Jane Britt. Ella Jane, take it away.
Thanks, Tristan. My name is Ella Jane Britt, and welcome back to the Red Wolf Roundtable News Desk. This week in A-State athletics, in some surprising news, the volleyball team broke their 18-game losing streak to finally get a win against ULM. On their senior day, Macy Putt finished out with her final game in the First National Bank Arena by powering down 22 kills and 34 attacks and only ending with 2 errors. The Lady Red Wolves volleyball team will be on the road for their final game of the regular season as they're set to face Marshall on Friday. This team is set for the first serve at 5 p.m. and will be broadcasted live on ESPN+. The Red Wolves football team is set to take on UMass this Saturday, where the athletics department has announced there will be multiple Hero Day promotions surrounding this game. All military personnel will receive a free ticket if they present their military ID at the First National Bank Arena ticket office, which is located in the facility's lower red entrance, and that is by 5 p.m. on Friday. The athletic department is also offering $10 tickets in the upper east stands of the general public. You can also go to astateredwolves.com to see all of the promotions that the athletic department is offering to the football game this weekend, as the Red Wolves football team is set to kick off at 2 p.m. at Centennial Bank Stadium against UMass. This game will be broadcasted live on ESPN3 and the EAB Red Wolves Sports Network. As we're starting to hit the end of the fall season and entering into the winter season, the Red Wolves basketball team hosted Harding on Monday night, where they defeated the Harding University Bisons with the final score of 86-55. Sophomore guard Avery Feltz had a career high of 16 points and a career best with 7 assists. Feltz was just one of 3 Red Wolves that finished with the double scoring digits. Alongside Feltz, as senior Marquise Davis and sophomore Julian Lewell, where they scored 14 points apiece. The Red Wolves basketball team is set for their first road game Saturday, where they will take on Louisiana State University. Tip-off is set for 5 p.m., and the game will be broadcasted live on the SEC Sports Network Plus. And it will also be heard live on the EAB Red Wolf Sports Network. That's all I have for you from the Red Wolf Roundtable News Desk this week. Tristan and Cooper, back to you guys.
Well, Cooper, like Ella Jane said, it's the most wonderful time of the year. And no, I do not want to scrape cranberry because basketball season is finally back here in J Vegas. I can't be more excited.
Oh, I'm ecstatic for it. After watching the Harding game, it really got me in the basketball mood. We're kind of always been talking about football in the football mood, but, basketball's finally back, and the best part about basketball is the upsets, and I'm sure the Red Wolves are going to be pulling off quite a bit upsets this year, because if y'all don't know, we have a very fun team to watch this year.
Yeah, Cooper, not even men's only, but women's as well. Both teams are going to be exciting this year, and we'll dive more into that coming up later. But Cooper, like I said, man, I'm just so excited that basketball is back here in Jonesboro. Words just can't come to mind about how happy I am about my favorite sport, being back here in basketball. Coach Rogers, Coach Pilato, they have great teams that you guys are going to want to watch in First National Bank Arena.
Yeah, so we haven't got to see the women's play yet since they play La Tech this Thursday, but watching the men's, they're gonna be a fun team to watch. They kind of got a little Harlem Globetrotters with them during the warm-ups, throwing down some nasty dunks. So it's just great things to come for A-State athletics.
Yeah, Cooper, like I said, basketball, it's back in Jonesboro. And when we come back, we're gonna dive more into the men's basketball schedule, and you're watching Red Wolf Roundtable on ASU-TV.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
ASU-TV, covering all your favorite sports. From Red Wolf Roundtable to West Side football and more, ASU-TV has you covered. Tune in now to ASU-TV for news and coverage on these sports and more.
Cooper, like we talked about in the open, basketball's back in Jonesboro. But before we dive into anything, we're going to go ahead and start off with the men's basketball team. You know, their schedules came out yesterday. Their non-conference schedule looks pretty tough.
Yes, you know, they actually got a really tough one this Saturday, a team you know pretty well about, going to Baton Rouge and taking on LSU.
Well, a little bit of exposure about myself, but my uncle and I were just in Baton Rouge last weekend. I'm sad we're not going to be able to come back down for that game to see the mighty fighting Red Wolves take on the mighty fighting Bayou Bengals, as they call them down there in Baton Rouge. But Cooper, you just got to look at some of the stats for this game. It is going to look kind of weird because it's early season. LSU doesn't have really anything as of yet. They haven't played. They're actually playing tonight. But just looking at the rest of the non-conference schedule, I mean, like I said, LSU, they haven't played a game yet. They will be playing tonight, so all the zeros, you know, that will change. It's going to change. It's basketball.
Yes.
It's early on in the season. But Arkansas State, like we talked about, they look special.
Yes, you know, but the only downside is the way they started against Harding. You can't have that start against LSU. You know, if you weren't at the game, they started off, they were shooting terrible. They got down, I think it was 10-0 right off the beginning of the game. Couldn't make a shot. If you can do that against teams like Harding because you can fight your way back in it. But a team like LSU, they're in the SEC. You almost have to play a perfect game. It's the beginning of the season, so, you know, there's going to be some bumps and nicks and all that. But you got to play. You can't start off like you did against Harding. You got to be able to make your shot. And, you know, I was saying, well, they need to shoot the three ball better, but they shot a lot better at the end of the game, and it brought that percent up. So we're just going to have to keep what we're doing, but no slow starts.
Yeah, Cooper, we have highlights and we have stats from that game. We'll get to it here in a minute. But let's look at the conference schedule for a second. Just looking at the new teams that we're going to be playing in the Sun Belt Conference, you know, teams like Southern Miss, Marshall. You know, we still got the ugly Texas State Bobcats in there. But, Cooper, this team has what it takes, in my opinion, to possibly run the Sun Belt. I mean, I know it's early, but this team, they were projected low in the preseason standings for the Sun Belt Conference. So, as Derrick Rose said in his MV speech, why not me? For the Arkansas State Red Wolves, why not them?
Yeah, you know, I'm looking at the schedule, and I'm really liking that Coastal Carolina game. You know, last year Coastal came to us, and I think it was during when we had the icing and the snowstorm, and I went and watched that game, and it was one of those games we talked about like, oh, we're probably going to win this, and then we lost to them. That's a revenge game I want back, and I know the Red Wolves want back because it was a really tough back-and-forth game and a game we really shouldn't have lost. So that home game against Coastal, you bet I'll be at that one.
Yeah, Cooper, and like I was saying, we actually have highlights from the Harding game. You know, shout out to Colby Wood, who was able to so gracious to give us these highlights. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights. I mean, here you're seeing it. The big man. AB, he is such a great guy. I actually got a picture with him before this game. Look at that, bam! Slamming it down.
What is he, 7 foot? He made you look very, very small in that picture.
Well, if my mom was standing beside him, he'd make her even look smaller. Yeah. But Caleb Fields, the floor general, he's going to be the leader of this team. And look at the man, number 2, Avery Phelps. He's going to drive, kick it out. Look at that, tray ball, fire.
You know, Avery Phelps, we saw a little bit of him last year during kind of the late game, end of the first half moments when we're trying to knock down a couple threes. It's fine. It's nice to see that he worked out throughout the offseason.
Bam!
Okay. But it's glad to see Avery Phelps, who worked out through the offseason, really made himself a starter instead of, you know, hey, we need you in to hit a couple threes. He's really transitioned into a true scorer and a true starter.
Yeah, Cooper, and I didn't mean to interrupt you for that
alley-oop,
alley-oop, but it's an alley-oop. It's early on.
Hey, it was pretty.
Yeah, I mean, you were there. You seen it. You seen it. I'm sure if I was able to go over to Mr. Peyton Burr's office, I'd have got your angle of it. But regardless of that, man, like, this team is just – if they can limit their troubles, and they had a lot of troubles to begin the game. They couldn't score the ball, but hey, that's basketball. And really, the stats are where it lies when it comes to this game. You know, they shot over 50% from the field. They had 40 rebounds. They shot almost 50% from tray ball land, and they outscored them 86-55 with the win. That is what you want to see in an opening contest against not necessarily an in-state rival, but an in-state opponent nonetheless.
Yes, you know, Harding, they looked a little scary at first. You know, they were knocking down the shots. They had quite a few big men on their team compared to last year. It was a completely new team. But Arkansas State was also a completely new team this year, and I think that's why they're ranked so low in the Sun Belt. People don't really know what this team can do. And from what I saw in that second half, they can do a lot. They can knock it down from three. They can go into the paint, put you on a poster, or, I mean, heck, they can do it all. Defense wins championships, and they got some really good defense. You know, those transition dunks with Davis looking pretty nice out there from that Monday.
Yeah, Cooper, and, you know, it's something we talked about before the show, but even Norchad at Miami, he had a great first game, too, and, you know, real quick, we just want to send him the best luck. You know, I know he transferred, but he was one of the first student athletes to come onto the show.
Yes.
And I have nothing but respect and hope he has a great, you know, season. But looking at last year, it was just one of those things where there was too much star power on the team for their own good. Desi Seals, he was one of those guys. By all means, he's a great ball player. I hope he does great at Kansas State. But when he was here at Jonesboro, he thought he was the guy. Coming in from Arkansas, he thought he was the guy, but unfortunately, I thought it was Norchad. But Cooper, you know, just real quick, before we have to wrap it up and go to break, which I hate doing, what is your first impression of this Arkansas State men's basketball team?
They're fun to watch. That's all I have to say. They're a fun team. They got the swagger, you know, they got the team chemistry that's really going to help them win a lot of games. That's something I've noticed during warm-ups. They're all, you know, talking to each other, staying loose, and so they're a fun team and they're a bonded team.
Yeah, Cooper, I mean, I couldn't agree more. And when we come back here on Red Wolf Roundtable, we're going to be diving into the women's basketball season, and we even got a quote from Coach Rogers. You're watching Red Wolf Roundtable on ASU-TV.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
ASU-TV, covering all your favorite sports. From Red Wolf Roundtable to Westside Football and more, ASU-TV has you covered. Tune in now to ASU-TV for news and coverage on these sports and more.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable, everybody. We talked about the men's basketball team. Now let's dive into what arguably my favorite brand of basketball, women's basketball. And you know, Cooper, it's going to be a great season for this team.
Well, not only that, they're one of the most experienced teams in the Sun Belt. You know, you had some transfer, but the key girls like Jade Upshaw and all them, they stayed together. We only have one freshman on this team.
Yeah, Cooper, and it's really going to show when it comes down to the conference schedules. But real quick, before we go too much, let's go look at the non-conference schedule before we dive in really to the Sun Belt. And you're seeing here, you know, they got a game, their first game coming up against Louisiana Tech, a guy that we both know, you know more well than I do, or however that phrase goes. He goes down there, and my dad actually went down there, so did my granddad. But regardless of that, Louisiana Tech, they've actually got a good ball club.
Yes.
Coach Rogers, you know, she was telling me that, hey, you know, it may be a non-conference game, but we still want to get the defensive momentum going. We want to get at least 3 steals before they can get the first bucket. And you're looking down there, and you're saying, man, what game is going to be the most important non-conference game? It may be Oklahoma here at home. But if you look at December 11th, at Arkansas, a team that we played that the Arkansas State Red Wolves played last year here in First National Bank Arena, and they, you know, fell short of beating.
Well, you know, that game, it was kind of back and forth, and then, you know, as the game went on, the Razorbacks, so they just went away with it. But this game will be very interesting because you got Coach Rogers. They'll have a couple games under her, and, you know, she'll finally be the head coach. And I really think this game's going to be a lot closer than the experts are, you know, going to predict when the spread comes out. I mean, if they play their style of defense they have been preaching in practice, I really think they can come away with a win.
Yeah, Cooper, so now let's go ahead and look at the conference schedule for the Arkansas State women's basketball team. And like I said, just like the men, they've got some newcomers here to the Sun Belt, James Madison, Old Dominion, Southern Miss. But thank the good Lord above that Coastal Carolina is going to be without their star player from last year that I think almost dropped 60 points on us on the Red Wolves in the tournament.
Yeah, that just brings back bad memories. You know, we had high hopes, hyping them up, and then, you know, the player had the career game of her life.
Yeah, Cooper, well, you know, it's great to know that Coach Rogers is going to be in her first full season here as the Arkansas State women's basketball head coach, and we got the chance to be on Zoom with her. You know, I had a chance to talk to her a couple questions, so let's go ahead and see what she had to say about their upcoming game against Louisiana Tech in the season as a whole.
You know, last week we didn't have a very good practice, and I had to go recruiting the next day, and I told my team I just was disappointed because I know how excited this team is to get ready to play, and I just thought that it would be a little bit differently a week out from playing. And so I returned home, and we had a really good practice Saturday, really good practice Sunday, and yesterday, practice that you got to witness was probably our best as far as preparation. So that's just a hats off to my team. Just, you know, being excited about playing on Thursday and really taking on, you know, my challenge about being intentional about, you know, really locking in and preparing for who you're going to play. You know, every team has gotten to this point, you know, if you hadn't played yet, you're tired of practicing. You're ready to play a game. And, you know, what we're trying to teach our kids, you know, nets ain't free. So even when you don't want to do it, you got to show up and you got to be focused. You got to be locked in and you got to be ready to go. And you got to witness a really good practice yesterday. They were super locked in. And I walked away from practice yesterday really confident in the product that we're going to put on the floor on Thursday. You know, I just want to see my team compete. I want to see my team play hard. I want to see my team execute the game plan because I think we have a really good game plan in place. But the number one thing for me is I want to see my team have fun. I want to see them go on the floor and have fun doing the thing they love. You know, you work so hard in the summer, you work so hard in the fall, and, you know, you have long practices. You have some days that maybe are not as good as others, and maybe have to do a little more running in some practices than others. And you've worked extremely hard to get to this point. So I just want to see my team have fun. I want to see them, you know, like I said, play hard. I want to see them play together. But if we'll do those things and we'll execute our game plan, I really feel good about where we'll be sitting towards the end of the game. And win, lose, or draw, I can live with it if we do those things.
Man, I'm so glad that we got to sit down with Coach Rogers on the Zoom call to talk to her about the upcoming season. And I'm glad she is the official head coach here at the women's basketball team.
Yes, and it was nice seeing her at practice. She's the type of coach, she's not going to be getting up in her player space screaming, yelling at them. She's going to be like, all right, you did this wrong. Now here's how we're going to fix it. She's down to the earth with her players. And that team, they're just so well bonded. I mean, we showed the clip. Before practice started, they were just in a circle, jamming out to some music real quick, staying loose, having fun. So this team, Coach Rogers is doing something special with them, and I like it.
Yeah, Cooper, real quick before we have to send it a break again, us here at Red Wolf Roundtable would like to send a special belated birthday to Coach Rogers. It was her birthday yesterday. I told her happy birthday on the Zoom call. We told her happy birthday at practice. Actually got a picture with her for the socials that we'll be posting later. But, Cooper, we're going to send it to another short break, and then when we come back, we're going to be previewing UMass. You're watching Red Wolf Roundtable on ASU-TV.
ASU-TV, shows like Red Wolf Roundtable, ASU-TV News, Westside Football, and more. Gain real-life experience while doing what you love. Get involved with ASU-TV today.
ASU-TV, covering all your favorite sports. From Red Wolf Roundtable to Westside Football and more, ASU-TV has you covered. Tune in now to ASU-TV for news and coverage on these sports and more.
Welcome back to Red Wolf Roundtable, everybody. Well, now we're going to talk about the most depressing, underachieving sport here at Arkansas State University, the football team. Cooper, this week, after the bye week, where we non-surprisingly lost to the bye week, you saw the stats last week, we're playing the UMass Minuteman.
Well, UMass, they're the worst team in college football. In the FBS, they're the worst team in college football. So we should win this game. We should win. But after seeing them play against South Al in the pouring down rain, it looked like that team had no fight. They wanted to go inside. They didn't want to be out there, and because it was wet, cold, and it was raining, nothing fun. Well, we're playing the Minuteman Saturday, and it's going to be another cold one. So it could be probably 2 dumpster fires just crashing heads.
Yeah, Cooper. So if you look at the game stats for this game, we actually are allowing more points than the UMass Minutemen, who are 1-8 on the year. I told my producer at ESPN, Will, I told him during the press conference for Butch Jones yesterday, I said, if we do not win this game, I'm never working another Arkansas State football game, because when you're coming into this game and you're passing for 235 yards, you're not even having more rushing yards than them, and you're scoring almost double what they are. Well, sorry, I'm actually good at math. You're scoring over English against over the UMass Minutemen. You've got to win. You just got to.
I mean, yeah, this is a must-win game. It's obviously a must-win game because, you're not playing for the bowl. My thing is now, win out. Just win out. Give something to look forward to next year, because if you go 3-9, well, yeah, we did better than last year, but we also probably had an easier schedule than we did last year. It's just, I don't know. It's a must-win game. We're a 17-point favorite, but I'm kind of scared for it, because the way this team has been playing, they could come out there and say, well, we can't make a bowl game. There's no reason to play. We can't win the Sun Belt. There's no reason to play. So, I mean, man.
Yeah, Cooper, real quick, before we send it back to our news desk correspondent, Ella Jane Britt, what's a score prediction for you on this game?
It's going to be cold. Both teams are trash. They're playing for nothing. But you know what? Let's win. 10-3, A-State.
You're going on the lower side. Okay. I'm going to go with 21-7, Arkansas State. James Blackman's finally going to get a swagger back that he found at Grambling. And hopefully, Butch Jones doesn't lose this one, because if he loses this one,
there's no coming back.
There's no coming back. But Cooper, let's go ahead and send it back down to our news desk correspondent, Ella Jane Brett. Ella Jane, take it away.
With the A-State men's and women's basketball season about to get underway, please be sure to visit astatesredwolves.com to see the couple schedules and the complete schedules of the broadcast information. Back to you guys, Tristan and Cooper.
Cooper, like we said, if we lose this game, there is no coming back.
I think I might have to take a picture with UMass, because, I actually rebuilt them on a video game, made them a complete dynasty. So maybe if I was head coach, they would be good, but, that's a virtual world, and we're in real life, future time.
Well, if it was 2020, we'd be in a virtual world.
True. I mean, basically, that is true. But you know what? I've seen crazy things happen.
I saw LSU beat Alabama over the weekend. Anything can happen at this point, in my opinion. But, Cooper, we're going to go ahead and wrap it here before we say anything to make somebody upset and we get in trouble. So, guys, you've been watching Red Wolf Roundtable here on ASU-TV. We will see you guys next week.